Howdy there guys, welcome to another KCAnty's Minecraft tutorials. Once again I'm going to try recording this wheat farm video on how to make a wheat farm, an automatic wheat farm. It's turning into night time, isn't it? I've actually recorded this video twice before. The first time I got the dimension completely and utterly wrong about the wheat farm. The second time I recorded it, but my microphone gave out on me and I didn't realise that until I went into the editing phase. But anyway, you know what they say, third time lucky. So right now we'll just take a wander over to our wheat farm. And as you might have noticed from some of my previous videos, I've turned the chunk range up. I got a bit fed up with the chunk updates to make it impossible to move about. Anyway, what we're heading towards now, you can see the cactus farm in the distance, and where that wooden bit is at the side of it, that is actually the back of the wheat farm that we built in a previous video, but, like I said, my microphone wasn't working, so I'm just going to do it again and talk you through how I did this, but I think I'll show you how it works first and foremost. Yeah, the fences there are to stop animals like this here, sheep, and these cows from coming up here. What we will do, we'll climb up here. Wow, stereo cow move. Anyway, up the top here, you can see the wheat farm. Now this harvests a stack of 64 plus 49 wheat at a time, and about twice as many as seeds as that. But I won't harvest it yet, but all you have to do to harvest it is you pull this. Yeah, we'll show you that before we finish the farm, see what it's like. But anyway, this farm is easily scalable. As you can see, I've got 3 distinct levels here. There's 1, there's 2, and here's 3 levels. Now, you can add many of these, or even 1 level, as many of these as you like. Let me know in the comments of this video exactly whether you want me to build this into a mega structure. Mega structure meaning I will build it absolutely massive. We're now inside the cactus. We're now inside the wheat farm, and this cow is getting on my nerves. Is it getting on yours? Hey, that's a yes. Look, mate. Thank you for interrupting. That's what you get for interrupting. Anyway, wow, phantom cow. Let's find a spot to build this. As you might have noticed, where is this cow? That'll stop it mooing every 2 seconds. But as you may have noticed, I have almost finished filling in this bit. If you're on a multiplayer world, or a single player world even, it always pays to have a large flat area. This is kind of my farming area. I've got an industry area and a factory area, and this is my farming area. The industry one is way off in the distance over there, and loaded yet, but I have a cobblestone factory, an obsidian factory, several mob killing factories, all those sort of things. And in my, what is it, the other one? Industry factory. Can't remember what I called the other one now, but oh, we have a friendly creeper, and a burning zombie, and a skeleton archer. Oh well, can't get me up here. I like being up here. But anyway, once you harvest the farm, all the wheat will come down here, and you can just pick it up with 1 button press. Well, actually you don't need to press a button, but... Now, what I'm wondering is whether we got enough space to do it along this side here. Like I say, this is the 3rd time I've built this farm now, but... Let's do it along the back here, we've got space. So, the key thing to remember is 7. 7, so your lucky number 7. Reason we have number 7, go through the tedious process of doing this. Oh, I'm holding shift to do this, by the way. It saves me dragging and dropping it each time, but let's just make us some wooden planks first. Lots of them. By the way, what I have here is basically all you're going to need to build this thing. Torches as well are an optional extra, but yeah, it cuts a few days off the harvesting time. This farm grows wheat in about a third of the time it takes for it just to grow if you put it in the ground. That is due to internal water reservoir to keep the soil hydrated and the torches everywhere over it to keep it growing overnight. Now, as soon as we're done with this very tedious clicking, we'll make a start. Now, the reason I said we need 7, key number, is because when you put water down, there's 7. These cows are driving me nuts. But here's 7. Now, when you put a bucket of water down, what you want it to do is flow to the end, but not off the end. Oh, actually, you want it to flow one off the end, so when you go down one, like so, it will keep on flowing. There you are. I'll keep it quiet for a while, but we want it to flow one off the end here, and that way it will flow down to the next tier. If you don't want another tier, if you just want to do a single tier farm, it's quite okay to do an 8 one. At some stage I'm going to replace all the sand up here with earth to make it look a bit better, but I need to get my cactus farm finished. And in the corner over there you can see our nether portal, which we disabled because it was driving us nuts, well, driving me nuts, kept interrupting. Now, what we want to do, first and foremost, is to plan how wide we want the farm. Now, as I haven't got that much space here, I'm just going to do it 6 rows wide, but you can have it up anything as long as it's a multiple of 3. Don't ask me why, but it just needs to be a multiple of 3. Spreading the water seems easier that way. So it can be 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 36, anything up like that. But as long as it's a multiple of 3, then you can do it, because we basically condense them. Bear in mind though, the wider you do it, the more complicated the back bit will be, because of the water spreading. Now, first thing we do, we're going to do a 6 farm. You can build this out of any material, by the way. It doesn't have to be wood and cobblestone, but I like to make the outside of most of my structures either solid wood or cobblestone, because if a creeper comes along and explodes against wood or dirt, it will do a lot of damage, whereas cobblestone will only really take the outer layer out, so it'll protect it. But anyway, we make an edge. Yeah, let's start now. So we go along 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we go up 1 level, or if you're just doing a single level farm, stop here. But do this as many times as you want, but bear in mind, always go up a level after 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I always tend to lose count with these things. Tell you what, let's do 2. And that's 7. And that's 7. Now, this is the outer edge of it. This will be basically about 5 blocks further than that. That's how big your farm's going to be, outward wise. Will be every extra level you add, it will come out 2 further out the back there, like this wooden chunk. I must make a sculpture out of that to make it look a bit better. Maybe a friendly creeper watching over my kingdom. This is, like I said before, a multiplayer server. We do this quite easily. Anyway, what we want to do now is dig a trench 7 long. I'm just going by this account to save me doing that. Now, reason being, this is where we're going to fill with water and cover it over with a walkway, so that it will keep this, which should all be earth, I'll swap that round in a bit, which should all be earth, hydrated, which will cut a lot off your crop time. But anyway, we go up by 1. Oops. But the dirt needs to be 1 below the edge piece here. So, always 7 long. Your pieces here need to be 7 long. Tell you what, I haven't got enough dirt to do all that long, so we'll do the wooden. Always 7 long. Like I said, there's a reason for that, but I'll show you in a couple of Minecraft days when that farm's ready to harvest. We'll show you how it works. This is basically a duplicate of that one we're building, purely for the fact that I remember exactly how it's done and save a mistake. But, okay, this I'm walking on here is going to be where your wheat goes. This I'm walking on here is where your water is going to go. This needs to be left for the time being always one lower than your dirt. So, again, doesn't have to be wood, but it can be anything. This bit does need to be dirt though, because otherwise your crops can't be planted. But anyway guys, whoa, where did this come from? What we'll do, we'll make it daylight again so that we don't get jumped by creepers while we're building this. Creepers are useful for farming for gunpowder, but not very useful for building, to say the least. But anyway, this is your dirt layer again, so we're doing 6 wide, so what I would do to save a bit of time here, oops, what I would do to save a bit of time, I'll do the front bit in normal speed and then I'll go to hyper speed while I get the rest of it all filled in. Hyper speed is what I call just going really fast. For me I'll be here for about half hour, but for you it'll be probably about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. But anyway, do this for as many rows as you want. Like I said, this is a 6 wide farm. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7. Yeah, my mouse is a bit funny, so I keep right clicking when I mean to left click. Now, I know darn well that I've got a bad sound quality. Now, if you've been putting up with listening to me this long, well, thank you for a start. I will be getting a better microphone and recording system for this, but that's an investment at the moment which I can't get. But probably in about a couple of weeks I'll get a proper microphone which won't record all the pops, which will make me sound like a human. Anyway, this is 6 wide. Dig always one below the other bits, like so. I mentioned in my last video, even though it didn't record me, that it's funny how this design evolves every time I build it. This is probably the 6th or 7th time I built this farm now, for myself and other people. It's always come out different. The first one I built on this was quite chunky and inefficient, and animals were repeatedly getting onto it and just upsetting all the cultivation. Because when you walk on when you walk on the soil when it's been cultivated, you have to recultivate it. So it doesn't help a lot. But anyway, you need to make sure all this is dirt. Doesn't matter if it's got grass on for the time being, but all this needs to be dirt, so any sand or stone or anything like that you got here, just swap out. Now, the next stage, I'm just going to nab this sand because it's something I always seem to be short on. The next stage, once you put the edge on this side, so we got that. Remember, the edge always needs to be one higher than this bit, so oh right, of course I haven't done that bit yet. But anyway, put the edge on, and this needs to be one lower. So we start at this end, extend the edge round to add a little fence to stop things jumping in there. But anyway, this end needs to be one down, and put a bit of cobblestone at the end pieces of these trenches here. I forgot that they flood otherwise. Anyway, need to go one down. What we're going to do, we're going to put a bucket of water in, like so, and we keep digging. When it stops, you go down where it stopped and keep going down. But we just want to make it come out of this farm here. That way, as the wheat gets pushed over here, it will get deposited into here, where it will just get dragged down to the end here, where you can collect it at one simple point, which I will show you. But you keep digging this trench here, until the water doesn't flow. So there. Then we do one more. And like that, so we can at least jump out. For the time being, ignore this little hole here, it's in case I fall down into this really deep ocean and save me swimming all the way around to get back up. But anyway, we're going to just get the irrigation system sorted now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remembering that this bit needs to be always one higher. The dirt always needs to be one higher than the other bits, the trenches. It doesn't have to be above ground, by the way. If you've got enough time to dig out, or you can even put one of these things in the nether, providing you put enough torches. But basically, above ground you've got sunlight, which saves you a lot of resources trying to light the thing, and it's much brighter, so your crops will be ready in about, I don't know, a third of the time it would have taken underground. My friend Lightning Joe Boy, he once built a tree farm in the nether. It's very interesting how he did it, but wasn't exactly practical or economical. Yeah, I don't know the word for that, cost efficient then. It took so many resources just to get about 4 trees. And then they took about 4 Minecraft days to grow. Wasn't bad actually, considering it's underground. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, if you guys could leave in the comment section of this video any ideas you want me to do for projects, anything you'd like done or to know how to do even. It can be anything, redstone circuits, types of farms, combined farms, factories. It can be anything, or even what's the word? Tricking out your house. Yeah, that's the word I think. But making your house really cool. I know there's people here on this server that build giant dices, like that one in the distance there. That's my house. But you can always make mansions and that with everything really. Anyway. Enough of me waffling, let's get to work on the irrigation system. Or actually, I'm going to call it a part 1 here, so it's kind of my goal to keep these videos as short as possible. But we're going to call this part 1, and I will see you in part 2. Thank you for watching. Remember to leave me comments, guys. It would help if you don't state the obvious about my bad microphone though, but it's up to you. Thank you for watching, see you in part 2.